Hi, I'm Dania from Journey of a Braid, and there are so many stories braided into my hair. One of the stories that I believe are extremely relevant in times like this, where energy is a little bit charged everywhere, is this conversation and this understanding of the magic and the intuition and what that means for us. I can only speak as a woman because that's what I am. A female body is what I've got, and that's what I connect with. And it has been very particular right now. I went through this period where I had like this huge heavy cloud on top of me, and I couldn't identify myself. It was very concerning because I really like what always makes me feel happy and alive and appreciate the moment and was gone. And so I was just navigating this cloud of darkness for about a week or so. And when I started feeling like this, it's funny because perhaps because of my upbringing or my culture, I usually go to very natural remedies that are more about healing than anything else. I grew up with this nanny who was the daughter of a shaman in her town. Her town was called Amecameca. It's in the outskirts of the Volcan Popocatépetl in Mexico. And she was very special. Before my mother left, she was going through a lot of depression at home. And I remember me being very young, yet seeing that she was preparing this special mixtures of herbs with boiling water that she would then use for baths. So my mom would be in a bathtub, and then she would get all this liquid, which was the result of all these herbs, like just dropped into her, and that was a process of cleansing. And so it stuck to me, and right now I go to different stores where you can buy it. It's almost as tea because the original herbs, which I will write down in the description, are not available mostly in the US. They are available in Latin America. And well, these herbs are quite healing. And then you stay in the bath for about 10 minutes, just absorbing and trying to, like to drown yourself for a bit, or to go underwater for it to really go everywhere. And plants are quite magical and healing, and that's where medicine began. And sometimes we forget to go directly to the plant, and we keep taking like all these processed versions of them, which for me don't work. For me, I'm very sensitive to anything. I rarely take medicine. Even Tylenol for me is complicated. I don't take vitamins. I don't take anything. I try to get things from the source instead of trying to get supplements that are easy to consume, but that are often just that matter because the properties of things that are alive are there when it's alive if you eat it once. Anyway, long conversation. The thing is that I did this ritual, and I prepared my mixture of herbs, and I took my bath, and I lighted a candle, one of these candles that they sell at every dollar store, supermarkets, whatever. This one in particular was pink because I remember that one was the one that shows you the way that opens different roads, and I just saged the candle before I lighted it. I put a little bit of sugar on top, then I lighted it, and as I did this process, I kept asking for the one thing that I believe I need right now, which is clarity. Because what I was lacking, all the issues that I saw everywhere, like could summarize into that one word. And so I was just asking Spirit, Universe, God, however you want to call it, for clarity. And I lighted this candle and I put it in my shower. I protected it in case that the candle were to explode, because whatever. I protected it with one of these things that you use to boil things in the oven, or to roast things in the oven, so that if anything, it would be protected. And I just let it run its course. It's currently still lighted. There's like this much wax left. And it becomes a reminder. So every time I would go to the restroom for whatever reason, when I see the candle and its light burning, I think back of this moment of that moment of darkness and what I need, which is clarity. And so it becomes a visual reminder that kept bringing about that message. And this process started for me last Friday. Right now it's Saturday, Monday, today's Wednesday. And I'm almost fully out of that cloud. I feel myself again. I'm, recouping my essence, which sometimes, we're losing parts of our soul all the time to different experiences, and that's a way of calling it back into your body, into your soul, like stitching yourself back together, braiding all these elements back together. And the reason why I need this clarity is just because I'm used to seeing that invisible thread that braids us together, which is what I always represent with my ribbons, which is all about this thread that we're constantly pulling, that leads us to our purpose and to our mission in life. And when I lose sight of it, I want it back. And I know that right now life is so complicated, like so many things are happening, especially socially, environmentally, that we need to make sure we stick to our thread and we keep pulling. And this thread is connecting our present, our past, and our future. And obviously that includes all your ancestors and the stories that they left unfinished, your own story, and whatever is going to happen next. So have the power to always keep your eyes wide open for this thread so that you don't get lost in the way. And the more you call for it, the more the way lights up for you and you receive these signs of you being in the right direction. I believe that for the longest time, especially the feminine has been looked upon as evil, or like they would judge in the past, and perhaps even in the present there are people that still see these things as witchery, or we have all the wrong words for healing sometimes. But I do believe in this inner power that we have as living things, and in how connecting to that brings us back to nature, brings us back to ourselves, and has all the answers for the healing that needs to happen right now in a social level. That's why I braid. That's why I consider braiding so important, because it's all about the power of the individual just garnered and taken in order to build this collective. I have braided conversations with myself every morning, and that's why braiding is sort of a meditation to me. And that's why I have very clear this thread all the time, showing me how things connect and how things make sense. Because I think that what's the worst part of being a human is sometimes wondering if you're living the process that you're supposed to live, or if you're boycotting yourself, or if there is no plan. That's when you feel totally lost. That's why religions have been successful. I believe in, for me, the biggest religion goes back to intuition and goes back to this center that we are able to find if we want to, and that we must search for, because we've lost these communities that used to bring about this togetherness. And that's what I'm trying also to recreate through the things I do. So anyway, I just wanted to give you this as advice in case you're going through a tough moment, and think back on your inner witch, the one that has been judged, the one that in old times used to be taken aback by the Inquisition and by all these precepts that basically said that connecting to what you believe deep in your heart was wrong. Because I think there's so much disconnection to nature thanks to that, and we cannot let go of it, because that's what makes human magic, that they can take all these elements and use their own magic to bring them together and create this magic potion of energy, which is simply healing. So think back on it. Like I think there's nothing more powerful than a group of women coming together. I had an experience at a performance of a friend of mine, Nina Surel, she's an artist, and it was all about like putting clay on each other, total silence, one room. I can tell you I've never felt more connected in my life. I've never felt so much, how individuals can turn into collective. And when it felt like a mass of energy, there was a shared energy. And that's what women used to do. Women used to do these moon showers, which were all about going in, in the forest, totally naked and dancing and just being together. There wasn't even necessarily a sexual connotation. It was just this vulnerability and unlayered presence that they shared. And I believe there's a lot of magic in that. And if I get an opportunity to go do one of those, I will. Trust me, I will. So anyway, that's my mixed point of view. I've lived in many different cultures and many different countries. Each of them has their different take on that. For example, especially in France, this is one of the things that is like, no, they stay away from it because Inquisition was so severe on women for simply believing in their inner magic or being judged by the neighbor if the neighbor didn't like them. But so many people got killed by it and suffered through it. So anyway, each country has their take. All I'm telling you is that you might want to try this method instead of going into antidepressants or think that another person will be better at understanding your life than yourself. I think therapy is wonderful, but I think it also has a bar. Like you reach a limit with how much the other person can speak from an experience that is not inside your body. That's only my take. Again, as long as you're looking for ways to heal, you're in the right path. I'm just speaking from my personal experience. These methods help me reconnect with spirit. At the same time that I do yoga, I meditate, I do all these things, I do journaling, but that's my take for these big clouds. I'm Danielle from Journey of a Brave, and let me know if you identify yourself with it or not. I want to have a pulse into what's happening in your mind.